All right. All right, all right, all right. Here we go. Let's get this thing rocking and rolling. Huge win for the Denver Broncos today. Absolutely enormous win for the Broncos. That game started off ugly, started off frustrating. Felt like we were going to look at another slow, dying death of brutal offense. And lo and behold, Broncos figured things out, man. Boy, did they figure it out. That was the best game of the Sean Payton era. That was the best game of Bo Nix's young career. The defense is doing their deal, and we know that they've been doing their deal. But Bo Nix took a step in the right direction today, and it was fun to watch, man. Look, there was a lot to be said about the sideline interaction with Sean Payton and Bo Nix, and I'm going to show that here in a minute as we get into things, and I'll go through it. But I will give you just a quick tease, my thoughts on that. I loved it. I loved every last second of it from Bo Nix. You know, last year we had the moment with Russell Wilson that was very, very similar in nature. Sean Payton comes up to Russ. He's all heated in the moment, and Russ just sits there and takes it. And I know there's a lot of us in Broncos country last year that were hoping that Russ would have stood up to his coach in that moment. And we saw Bo Nix, a young quarterback, step up. That's what we saw. We saw a young quarterback step up and accept the challenge from his head coach. We saw a young quarterback step up on the field and improve his play. Bo Nix took a step in the right direction today. I've been critical of Bo Nix, of his performance so far in his rookie season, and I will compliment the dude when he deserves to be complimented. That was just flat out a hell of a performance in the second half. The first half left plenty to be desired. Make no mistake about it. But in the second half, things got rocking and rolling. Pat Surtain, two interceptions, two interceptions, one touchdown, pick six, 100 yards, reached a top speed of 100 miles per hour. Of 20 miles per hour. 100 miles per hour would have been pretty awesome. Reached top speed of 20 miles per hour on that play. And the Broncos are sitting here 3-2. Are you freaking kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? The way this season began, the Broncos are 3-2. If you saw that one coming, I think you're lying. I certainly didn't see that one coming. If you did, it was probably nothing but blind hope and homerism, because the Broncos they showed nothing in the first 2 weeks. You saw hopes from the defense, which was good. And the defense continues to play really, really good football. Gardner Minshew ends up getting benched in that game. They bring in Aiden O'Connell. I don't really know why. Gardner Minshew is definitely the best quarterback of those two. But Gardner ends up getting benched. They've been talking about benching Gardner for a while. Devontae Adams was out, but Max Crosby was back. And Max came back with a vengeance. Alex Palczewski ends up getting banged up in that game. Alex has been doing a tremendous job filling in at the right tackle spot for the Broncos, but Max Crosby gave it to him once or twice. Alex ends up getting a high ankle sprain. We have two backup tackles in the game for a quick minute there. Garrett Bowles got back out there quickly, so fortunately we didn't have to deal with that situation all too long. But Bo Nix ends up going 19 of 27 on the day. 19 of 27. He throws for 206 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. And I'll say this about Bo. At least he's been doing a really good job of protecting the football, not throwing interceptions. And although I would love to see a little bit more going offensively in the passing game in the first half and the second half, that's what we're talking about here. And look, I do not think it's a coincidence that when Bo Nix comes to the sideline, and Sean Payton gets in his face, and I'm about to play the video here in a minute, and then Bo Nix stands his ground, and yes, it looked aggressive, and yes, I can understand why some folks out there think that looks like there's drama going in Bronco land. I'm telling you, that was a healthy situation. I've been a part of those situations. Very rarely did I ever talk back in my career, but the 2 times that I really did it, my relationship with my coach was improved for the better forever. Because I stood up when I knew I was right. I didn't stand up just because I was frustrated. I didn't yell back at the coach because I didn't want to be yelled at. I yelled back. I stood my ground because I knew that what I did was right. And Bo Nix, I don't know if he did the right thing or not, but he was confident in himself. And I promise you that Sean Payton liked that fire out of his young quarterback. If for whatever reason you're living on Mars and you don't know what I'm talking about here, I'm going to play the interaction between Sean Payton and Bo Nix, that I believe truly was the spark that got Bo Nix going and that put this offense into overdrive.
Just a moment ago.
So if you watch that interaction very closely, you see Sean Payton pointing at his play sheet multiple times. And I tweeted out in the middle of the game, 100% speculation here. But in my opinion, what it looked like to me is that Bo Nix comes to the sideline. Sean Payton had a play call that he had called in the huddle, sends it into Bo Nix's ears. And then Bo Nix did something at the line of scrimmage to audible out of that. Well, after the game, turns out that that's exactly what happened. Sean Payton addresses us and lets us know that, yeah, he had a play called. Bo probably went Oscar. Oscar means we're going to flip the play. We're going to go the other direction. And Sean didn't like the fact that he Oscared it, that he went the other direction. There's certain things that you key on. Is the 3-tech to the strong side? Is there a safety down in the box? There's little keys for every single play that will tell you whether you're going to flip the play or not. Sean didn't think the play should be flipped. And after the game, Sean Payton goes with a Ferris Bueller analogy as to what happened. A Ferris Bueller analogy.
No, absolutely not. Listen, last year, all of a sudden, it's just, there's still a little bit of Ferris Bueller in this player that we got to get rid of. All right, talking about Bo, and I love him to death. And so sometimes it's my love language. All right?
Can you say what it was about?
No,
Okay.
no, absolutely not.
There's another clip a little bit later that I forgot to clip and be prepared for the show with. But Sean does indeed say that Bo Nix flipped the play, and that's what he was frustrated with. So my prediction when I tweeted it out turns out to be exactly what ends up happening out there. Sean calls a play. Bo Nix gets to the line of scrimmage. I referred to it as an audible. He ends up flipping it. That's a little bit different than an audible. Small technicality here, tomato. But Bo ends up flipping the play. Bottom line is, when Bo Nix came to the sideline like that and he got fired up, I knew right then and there that Sean Payton keeps telling us about the confidence of this young man. Last week, he said that he wishes that Bo could go out to dinner with every single reporter so that the reporters could get to know the confidence of his quarterback. I knew right then and there that the confidence in Bo is sky high. Because I'm going to tell you, although, yes, I did talk back to my coaches a couple times in my career, that wasn't until year 3, year 4 that I got the confidence in myself to be able to speak up to a coach when I felt like I was in the right. And so this is a great sign for our young quarterback to be in a situation with his coach where he's speaking his mind and the coach isn't mad about it. I love it. You saw the offense roll after that. Look, we had a lot of good things going. Pat Surtain obviously was the player of the game. Pat has 2 interceptions, 100 yards. 100-yard pick 6. Pat is the best. He's the best corner in the NFL. The Broncos are very, very lucky to have this dude. And how about the dude on the other side from Pat Surtain? Riley Moss, the great white hope of corners that could stay alive in the NFL. Hey, you can still do it. You can still do it. There's a white corner in the NFL right now. It's only been about 2 in the last 2 centuries. But Riley Moss out there balling. A true number 2 to Pat Surtain, but man, there's a lot of teams that he'd be a number 1 on. Riley Moss and Pat Surtain have got to be one of, if not the best corner combos in the NFL, and Vance Joseph has got that defense dealing. Riley Moss was a dude that basically took his rookie season off. He was off. He was on the team. He dressed, but he didn't play. It was a redshirt year, more or less. So I didn't even know if Riley Moss was going to be contributing this year, yet alone being a starter this year. And Riley comes out and just has been an absolute stud for us. I thought Javonte Williams looked pretty good. Look, the numbers don't scream an awesome game, 13 for 61, but he averaged 4.7 per, which is good. Anytime you get over 4 in your average, that's generally speaking an acceptable to good game. If you get over 5, that's a phenomenal game. I would love to see those numbers start creeping closer up to 100 yards per game. But what I like out of Javonte is that his legs look fresh. He looks like he is younger. He looks like he's healing up, and he looks like he's got something to prove because a lot of people wanted Javonte Williams to be benched. Javonte's coming out looking great. Jaleel McLaughlin, I would love to see the Broncos get Jaleel a few more carries throughout the game, but he had 6 touches for 22 yards, averaged 3.7. But he did have some very, very good runs in there. Just a couple, but they're very effective when they were utilized. And Jaleel McLaughlin, the only thing that they got to get to with him is they got to be a little bit less predictable in the play calls when Jaleel is up there, because when Jaleel's running the ball, they're always trying to get outside the box. They're taking advantage of the speed. That's all right. Look, we did the same thing back in 2015 when we had CJ and Ronnie Hillman. Love you, Ronnie. Ronnie Hillman was our speedster, right? And we would always give him out there on those tackle poles anytime we would get outside. Those would be like our home run hitting plays. Most runs are designed to go for 3 to 4 yards. But Ronnie, when he got the ball, those were the balls we were trying to hit home runs. That's what we're doing with Jaleel McLaughlin right now. So the bottom line is, man, the Broncos are in a spot right now at 3-2 with the entire season in front of you that is just unfathomable to think that they were there. They were 0-2 and looked like the worst team in the NFL. Now they've won 3 straight games. They've got a AFC West win. They come up next week against the Chargers, another AFC West opponent, and we'll see how that goes. I'm going to go through a few of the comments here. You were on the end of an epic Josh McDaniels rant on Thanksgiving night in 2009. All we were trying to do is win the mother effing game. Hey, the fun fact about that ball right there, that's actually a game ball from that night. I actually got a game ball for playing well in that game. I think it was mainly because they thought I was going to get my butt kicked against Justin Tuck, and they're like, oh, Tyler did okay. I actually ended up getting a game ball out of that. Bo Nix out there calling his own shots. I actually don't get – I love Ferris Bueller, but I don't really get the analogy. We got a little Ferris Bueller in him. What does that mean?